Hey everyone, it's Joe here, and today I'm going to review another mystery novel that just came out last month. It's called The Teacher by Freida McFadden. It's a very good book. I definitely recommend it. I practically inhaled it, really. um, I would say it's a saucy and scandalous new thriller. I would say it's definitely one of the better ones I've read in recent memory. Also, funnily enough, interestingly enough, McFadden is a practicing physician in New York City, and she specializes in the recovery from brain injuries. So the book starts off concerning a 30-year-old high school English teacher named Eve. She is somewhat pretty, but also admittedly kind of plain looking, and she has a shoe shopping addiction. And her husband Nate is everyone thinks is much more handsome than she is pretty. He's gorgeous 38-year-old teacher who also works in the same school that his wife works in. He teaches English, she teaches math, and they both have the same student named Addie, who is sort of the social pariah of her school. And she's also the girl severely bullied by this popular girl named Kenzie. And they're also Kenzie's boyfriend, current boyfriend, maybe. The relationship status isn't exactly established. But Hudson used to be the best friend of Addie and is now the boyfriend of Kenzie, and he's torn between, staying loyal to Kenzie and also trying to help Addie, but his efforts at helping her are kind of rejected by Addie, and he doesn't really push it. And last year, there was a sexual abuse scandal between Addie and like a 50-year-old teacher named Artie. Addie vehemently denies anything that happened, that Artie was simply tutoring her very often, and everyone just got the wrong idea. And Artie is also a very beloved teacher and a mentor to many students, so she's kind of resented for being the reason why this guy was fired, even though people should really be blaming the adult in the situation, I thought. So Eve is also at home, sexually frustrated. She only has sex with her husband once a month, the first Saturday of every month, on the dot. And the romance, therefore, is all but gone from their relationship, and they quickly turn to resent each other. Because of this, Eve goes into an affair with this handsome, sexy guy named Jay, who, just for luck, is the manager of a luxury shoe store, and he gives her very luxurious gifts. Meanwhile, Nate also has an affair with a student named Addie, who he claims writes highly lyrical and eloquent poetry, which garners his attention. The two eventually begin a sexual relationship where they, do the deed in some like back room in the school. And that affair gets discovered by Eve, and she takes a photo of them kissing. And basically, chaos ensues. The rest is really up for you to read. I don't want to give any major spoilers away. About halfway through the novel, I basically just summarized. After that, if I summarized more, there'd be spoilers. So I wouldn't want to do that to you, because I think you should definitely read it. Um, I do have to say that the pages really fly by. Her writing style is descriptive, but just enough to get the point across. She doesn't have like any flowery language, and she just moves on with the really juicy plot. And her writing does change because the point of view switches between Addie and later on Nate, and mostly between Addie and Eve. And when she writes the Eve character, the writing is more adult-like and more jaded, whereas with Addie, the writing is more naive, much more fitting for a 16-year-old girl. The whole book does feel like deliciously trashy, which is not an insult. One sometimes just needs a book to have to like whiz by and to, like I said, devour or inhale the pages, like you're indulging in like a treat, like popcorn. I did find Eve to be unlikable, just annoying, kind of whiny, and she didn't really have much sympathy for Addie, even though it was obvious she was being bullied. But later on in the book, she definitely does redeem herself. All the character dynamics sort of change as the book goes on, and people that you thought were bad ended up being decent people. People that you thought were decent ended up being borderline psychopath. Um, but Addie is also not purely a victim herself. She can defend herself. She's pretty clever. She actually stole the house keys and broke into the house of Kenzie, and she also ends up stalking her teacher. Um, yeah, and also was found out. She also pushed her alcoholic and abusive father down the stairs, and she snapped his neck, and he died instantly. And no one knew that it was her. Um, I found out that eventually, as the book goes on, everyone seems to just want to kill each other, and that's where the sort of trashiness, like TV movie stuff, comes in. But it's done in a good way. It's not like it's done well. It's good. It's good trashy stuff. Um, McFadden also pulls off creating tension among characters as the pages go by. I also slowly realized that characters that I thought, were good ended up having nefarious motives and were kind of psycho, which is kind of shocking to read. There's also a lot of manipulation, power dynamics, betrayal, revenge, redemption. McFadden really delivers once again. I'll definitely be reading a lot more of her books. I plan to read this new book, came out last month too. She's been writing a lot. It's called The Inmate, and definitely stay tuned for that one. I'm excited to read it, and you should read it too. Read it with me. And yeah, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more.